Offender in custody. Thanks. Anyone else follows my system, let me know.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining this video. Definitely check out the video I just posted a little bit ago. Did Eric G also drop off DM at 3:51 a.m.? Plus, I'm going to be having a video coming out a little bit later of me and Audrey C breaking down the 911 call. Now, these two interviews just came out last night with Steve G. One late last night, one early this morning. Says some interesting stuff in here. Tells everybody, the guy that's not from here, the outsider, when he's talking about BK, how the selfie was a trophy pick and he will regret it. But something also was interesting. He talks about a witness about to see BK buy another K-bar, and that suspicion was confirmed when they stopped him. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments section when you hear these two interviews. Please hit the like if you haven't yet, and if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. Here we go.
Steve, thank you so much for joining Top Story. And I also want to say I'm so sorry that you have to join us and that we have to speak like this. I know you were doing this to speak for your daughter, but I am so sorry this is a situation you find yourself in at all. I want to start with just asking you about that selfie that everyone has now seen. What went through your head? What did it feel like when you saw that selfie of Brian Kohberger allegedly taken hours after your daughter and her housemates were murdered?
It was a trophy. He made himself a trophy. He felt like at that point he had just returned from the crime scene. There was no one there. And he believed, very confident, that's what the thumbs up. He's going to look back at that, remember what he got away with. And, it's a challenge to Idaho to let everybody know that, he thought he could kill people in our state, get away with it. He was far smarter than everyone else around him. And, he studied it. He's trying to be a PhD in it. So I think it was a challenge to Idaho. And I think Idaho will definitely step up. And he's going to regret that photo.
Steve, I want to also ask you about one of the requests the defense is making to the judge, asking that they do not allow spectators to wear T-shirts with pictures of the victims on them or anything like words in the memory of. How does that make you feel?
It's petty. I don't worry about it, though. My daughter's, justice and getting this conviction is much more important than wearing a shirt. I've never worn a shirt in court. They'll never be able to ever show that I ever did. So, when you got somebody facing, death row, you probably should focus more on, the case and the evidence rather than who's going to be in there witnessing it.
The defense has also claimed that they're going to present alternate perpetrators. Do you believe there is anyone else involved in the murder of your daughter and her housemates? No, not at all. There's surveillance all around there. You're going to clearly see who was coming into the place and exactly when they were leaving and what that vehicle looked like when it took that corner. This case is solid. It's super solid. And, we look forward to it. They're just trying to delay it, but it's time to pay the piper. We're all going to see what the state has, and I'm very confident in what they have. How is your family holding up and handling all of this? I mean, last week we heard the 911 call partially released. We've seen this selfie now. What is it like for you and your family to keep having these items, these bits of information come out?
It is hard. It's very hard. You kind of just prepare your family, tell them to stay away from the TV, stay away from, parts of the internet. So, but it's nice to get this information out. It's good to see the facts. I mean, it's weird to wait 2.5 years to know like some of the final things that, your child has been through. We're still waiting on even like laptops and things that, so we can see, her playlist and things that she was working on. It's tough. It's tough to go through this, but, I just think of all the officers and, the FBI agents and all the hard work that they put into this. So, I can wait and, we can get this out. We can figure it out.
as we move closer to seeing Bryan Kohberger actually face a jury and answer to these charges, what for you and your family is the thing you hope people focus on the most when that coverage really gets in full swing? What is it you hope people don't forget about what y'all have experienced or about your daughter?
I think if people can concentrate on how much victims they were, how these people were just going through their everyday life, trying to be educated, try to be like the best type of human being that you could possibly be. And even having all the way from like their meals that they shared together till their Uber ride, they weren't drinking and driving, they weren't doing anything bad, and come home and to go to your bed and to have some stranger he's not even a part of our state, he's not even, he just didn't even belong here, and to have that person sneak into your home and kill you in your bed. If there wasn't ever a moment for people to rally together and say, it's time to take this to the full closure and have a message that's out there so we can kind of point to say, we put our foot down right here. And, when we have these school shooters and people that do these mass murders, maybe we have to start, putting our foot down and taking it to the darkest part, all the way till we finalize these people. And then maybe we can stop having these so often.
Have you been able to speak to any of the other families, Ethan's family, Zaina's or Maddie's?
Yeah, I've spoken to all the families, some more than others, but yeah, I mean, Karen she'll call us in the middle of the night, So we know if you're struggling, you're having a hard day, that you pick up that phone and you spend some time talking to somebody. Mm-hmm. And I love talking about Maddie all the time, so it's it's pretty easy for us to do.
Are you and the other families confident right now that prosecutors have what they need to get a conviction here?
Yeah. They broke that down early on, and they basically outlined a couple different scenarios. And one of those was, hopefully this person comes out and says that he was framed. Was ideal, because that basically just means there's so much evidence that he just can't combat it. We didn't think we'd get as lucky as no alibi. We thought he'd think it out, and he is a smart guy. I figured he'd have some better way to explain what he was doing that night. I mean, I could think of a lot of better ways he could have done it. Really tricky stuff, but he didn't. And luckily, the case is going to be, it's going to be handled, and we'll get the eventual. We'll never get our kids back. I take that over any of this, but this is the best that we can make of the situation that we're in.
Steve Gonzalez, thank you so much for joining us.
A newly released photo shows Bryan Kohberger giving a thumbs up just hours after 4 University of Idaho students were killed. As more evidence has been released ahead of his August 11th murder trial, our next guest lost his daughter, Kaylee, in the horrific attack just over 2 years ago. And Kaylee's father, Steve Gonzalez, joins us now. Steve, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
The image, very eerie. And then 40 documents were released that show evidence. They were unsealed on Wednesday. Tell us what's going through your mind when you see that picture.
I see somebody that was making himself a trophy. I know the timeline. I know that he had just returned to the crime scene, and he had came back. He had realized that nobody had called 911. I think he knew that they were still asleep. And to him, that's his little trophy to let him know that, hey, I got away with it. Nobody's on me. And this is just the beginning of what this guy had in plan.
I know through a search warrant, they were able to search his Amazon purchases. What did they find?
They found that this was a calculated event. He'd been working up to this, I believe, for years. The real interesting part that I found, and I was informed, was it was only after one of these witnesses seen that he was about to buy another one. So their suspicions were he was involved. Then they see that he's about to get another one, and they were like, they put their foot down. They did the right thing.
You're talking about the knife and the sheath. The knife and the sheath. Yeah, they found that months before the murder, he bought a knife and a sheath that looked very similar, or maybe exactly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it the exact knife and sheath that was used?
That's how it's been described to me exactly. Yeah. And then he clearly got rid of that evidence. And it was when he was going to buy another one that these people were like, okay, the suspicion has been confirmed.
Why do you think he was buying another one or wanted to?
I think he got rid of that one and he was, he thought that was a perfect weapon, quiet. He was going to go into somebody else's house and, act two.
What else did they find in the 40 documents that were unsealed on Wednesday?
I haven't been able to see them all. It takes hours and hours to go through these. There's just a massive amount of work that's been done. But trying to think off the top of the head, there's quite a bit of information there. Mm-hmm. I encourage people to go look to the Idaho's page and their court docs and review them.
Okay. I can't imagine what this is like. You have to relive this every day when new information comes out. I want you to speak to that. And have you talked to any of the surviving roommates?
About a year ago, I talked to them. We have a Facebook page, and sometimes it feels like we may be talking to different people. But Karen, Maddie's mother, she'll call. Her and Christy will go out together. They do girl stuff, hair, whatever. But we have really kind of become a closer family, and you come together on these type of tragedies. But Karen's actually in Hawaii right now and celebrating one of the last trips that she did with two girls, with both Kaylee and Maddie.
Mm-hmm. The trial is coming up. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm encouraged to see all this information. I hope some of the conspiracies and all that stuff that have plagued this case, with the gag order, there was a void of real information. So it just got filled with a bunch of nonsense. But things are getting better. And now that they have something real to talk about, the conversations are more productive. And I appreciate that. We have organizations like yours, and the truth's getting out. And that's what we really want, is the truth to be out, and stay away from all these conspiracy crimes and drugs and all this other nonsense.
All right, Steve, we are praying for your family. This is just tragic, and we'll be covering the trial from start to finish. God bless you. Thank you for coming on.
Have a good day. Thank you.
You too.
Let me know what you think. Witness about to see him buy another one. Suspicion was confirmed. BK, the outsider. Selfie was a trophy. He's going to regret it. He planned it out. He was basically telling, it was like we were sitting in BK's mind for a couple minutes there. Let me know what you think. Appreciate you guys. Again, please hit the like if you haven't yet. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. And also hit that notification bell. That way you get the notifications anytime we drop these videos or these lives for all these cases we cover. Appreciate you. Love you. Have a peaceful and positive day.